You're listening to an episode recorded during the time Innovation Fuel was part of University Canada West. We are proud and grateful for the work we've done together, and we want to thank the university for being in our podcast. We are now excited to continue the journey of Innovation Fuel into its next chapter. Thanks for listening.
Got an idea that keeps you up at night? Or one that makes people say, that will never work?
Perfect. That's what we talk about here on Innovation Fuel. So let's get that conversation started. Today on Innovation Fuel, we're joined by Boris Poludo. Boris is a seasoned IT leader with nearly 30 years of experience across industries like telecom, healthcare, and finance. He's also the founder of Startup Group Consulting and the driving force behind Start Canada Initiative, a platform that helps people benchmark their employability and showcase their skills that employers really value out there. Boris, welcome to the show. We can't wait to get into this conversation, but let's first start off with your journey. Tell us a little bit, what are you doing? What is Start Group Consulting? And why are you transitioning here?
Dave, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you inviting me to this podcast. I'm very excited about sharing my story, and hopefully it's going to be relevant to your audience. So Start Group Consulting is a business entity that we formed just a couple of years ago. And the project behind this business entity is called Start Canada. The START here is actually an acronym. It stands for Strategic Talent Acquisition and Resource Training. So maybe by the sound of it, that it may come across as recruiting agency or as a placement. It has absolutely nothing to do with placement business or any kind of business of that sort, right? So we're doing completely different thing. And my strong belief that we're doing something very, very unique. So it all started quite a while ago, right? So I moved to Canada. I think it's important to share. Sometimes people telling me, hey, you shouldn't go that far, but I'll try to be very brief. So what basically happened is I moved to Canada back in the years. I didn't speak a word of English. And even though I had 3 universities behind my back, right? So and I didn't know where to start, right? So new culture, I need to adapt to a way of life. Nobody speaks my language, right? I got to do something. So the only thing I could think of is I need to make basic living somehow, right? So I was cleaning construction sites. I was washing dishes in restaurants. I've done all kinds of stuff, courier work. And at the same time, I sang at an opera company. But then when I got into IT, I became a leading consultant for IT projects. And that led to founding of Paludo Institute of Technology and Media in 2015. That is when we did a proof of concept of running an employability score application, right? So what we did is we created a software as a service platform that comprised of 3 components. One is employability score assessment application. Another one is mini bootcamp, which is very different from what happens in the education world. It's something that is limited to 20 hours and only target people that want to learn how to pass the interview. It has nothing to do with education. It's basically an interview training from the technical aspects of job interview. And the third part is a certification. I talk a lot to investors, and venture fund companies. Everybody goes, open their eyes. Like, are you serious? Like, who are you to do the certification? Well, first of all, I'm not alone. We have a team of absolutely brilliant people, including leading AI scientists from largest telecommunication companies and PhDs and university executives. And the certification platform that we're offering is not similar to industry standard, what AWS, Oracle, what all the industry standard certifications do. They certify people in their proprietary tools and technologies. We do concept and methodology-based certification. So if you get a certified Start Canada certified professional, then you're good to work at either Microsoft or Google or AWS. So we don't certify people in proprietary tools and technologies. That's basically to summarize where we are now.
Oh, that is really interesting. So may I ask you questions about how did you design a STARTS platform so that both newcomers and employers see it intuitive and truly useful in preparing for interview?
It's a long story, but I'll be very, very brief on this. So what happened is when I got into IT in the late 90s, as a consultant, I've been doing contracts. I only worked as a full-time employee one time in my life. Every time I need to do a contract, I need to go through 15, 20 interviews, right, to land the next contract. And that needs to be done every year and a half, 2 years at most, right? Because consultants, they change their clients every couple of years, right? They're there just to solve the problem. So that gave me a tremendous background and experience on how interviews are conducted and what they're looking for from the interviewee perspective. But in early 2000, once I got into IT project management, my first task, usually after I'm brought on board, was to assemble a team. So after going through 15, 20 interviews on one side of the table, then my first task to assemble a small team of 5, 6 people usually means I need to go through 50, 60 interviews, right? All these years, that was my pretty much first task. So the learning was incredible. I'm really grateful for the experience I had. And when we started at college in 2015, we used all that knowledge, not only that came from my background, but also instructors that we hired and our co-founders. So what we did is we created the proof of concept. What we did is first just using the learning management system that used by free Moodle learning management system, right? So it's a very complex LMS. So what we used that to create a quiz-based employability assessment. We had an IT people that created algorithm for us, how to calculate the score, how to calculate which areas of knowledge they did well on. So that was literally at the same time proof of concept and just trying to do a better job at helping people to land jobs. And all that evolved into something bigger. Now, before Paludo Institute was acquired by Global University Systems, we took and compressed all these activities that we were working on with respect to that into this 3-component platform. Employability assessment, mini bootcamp, which I think is where the big gap is, right? So education world does an amazing job at educating people. Placement, they do a good job at selling people, right? But they don't get into motivation, encouragement, in technical aspect interview preparation, right? So that is where we saw the big gap. So what we do is we fill that gap, the bridge between education and employment.
It's just a little follow-up. So to find those gaps, are mostly technical skills, or are they most about communication, teamwork, or any softer skills?
Well, a bit of both. I have to tell you that the biggest one is confidence, right?
Yes.
Now, people out of universities, people that come from other countries, they usually bring a lot of knowledge, a lot of expertise, but because it's a new world, even for people who born in Canada, it's still a new world. They're getting into a completely different stage in their life. Some people say interview is a nerve-wracking experience, and it is for most people. What we do is we help people to gain confidence in their technical expertise and knowledge to show them you do have what you need. And here we can prove it to you. Here's the app that gives you an ability to assess your employability, get literally employability score. You get access to it 365 days a year, 24/7, and it's absolutely free. So what happens is, even when they're at the latest years, in the college, they can use it. This semester, they're studying Linux. They see how their employability grows throughout the entire semester in Linux. Next semester, they get into machine learning and they're studying Python. Now, let me see how well I do in Python and see your employability score grow over time, right? Now, when they see that they're actually fit somewhere within, say, upper entry level or maybe mid-intermediate level, then our app also will show them where they're lacking knowledge, not only in technical aspects, also in the soft skills aspects of the job interview. And we also show them where they can pick that knowledge and skills up in their local geographical region or online. And we also provide that help as well.
So then once you've gotten through the figuring out where they are with the skill set they have, both the hard skills and the soft skills elements, do you then take them into how to prepare for the interview?
That's pretty much exactly what we do. Now, again, stepping back a little bit, during Paludo Institute times, what we did, we prepared the list of literally 1,500 possible job interview questions, combined technical and the soft skills. And what we did is we went through every single question, well, as many as we possibly can in every session, right? And we train and mentor students and our attendees on how to deal with these questions, not how to answer. We don't just give them an answer. We give them an approach, how to deal with difficult questions. Questions like I'm going to give you an example. Say they ask, are you familiar with ABC technology? So quite often people say either, no, I never really worked with that. Or they start inventing the answer, which make them look not quite good at the interview. So what people buy, what interviewers looking for? They're looking for two things. Expertise and background are not either one. What they're looking for is, number one, they're looking for confidence. And number two is communication skills. This is the only two things they're looking for. If you are at the interview, that means you already have what they're looking for from the technical aspect. But now they want to see what your confidence level is like and what your communication skills. Basically means if you never worked with ABC, you have to be confident to ask questions, to ask back interviewer. And what exactly ABC system is? Can you tell me a little more about it? And if they tell you, oh, this is the issue management system, that's it. That's the moment you pick it up from, right? You go, well, you don't say, no, I don't have ABC's background, but you say, you know what? I worked with Jira, I worked with Confluence, I worked with application lifecycle management that come from HP. So I have quite a bit of background in issue management and project management systems. ABC is not going to be any problems for me. That is what they're looking for. Confidence to solve problems, employing your communication skills.
So, Boris, who is the client that you're going after? Who is the ultimate client for this offering?
We were at the expanding stage, right? So we want to grow because we believe we can be quite valuable for a customer, whether that is individual or a corporate structure, not only within Canada, but actually globally. First, on the consumer side, it's just an individual, right? And it can be either college student or upskiller, somebody who is, trying to move on in their career and they want to pick up new skills. They want to see where they are, how are they doing on that particular part. Or, digital nomads, international experts. Let's say a software engineer in São Paulo, Brazil, wants to work in Belfast, right? In Ireland, some work there, or in UK, or in Canada. What they can do is they can see what their employability level is, get prepared for the interview, and then maybe gain a certification as well, which is Canadian branded certification with the beautiful logo and maple leaf and everything. That is on the consumer side. On the business side, we also software as a service platform, offering the platform to corporate structures where they can utilize for, let's say, performance reviews. They can utilize it in their hiring process. They can also be interested to access data of people that are the highest performers in employability assessment, meaning that they're absolutely best in technical or in business administration, because we're not only targeting technology, we also have many aspects in business management and hospitality.
Is it free for individuals?
It is absolutely free for individuals, 24/7, 365. So again, the idea was behind, let's say, how we can help students, college students, or newcomers, not necessarily Canadian. Maybe there's a lot of newcomers still in US and elsewhere, right? So people adapting to a new culture, new job market, right? We're aiming at delivering it as absolutely free, 24/7, 365, so they can see how their employability grows over time.
So how does START help people not only build those skills, but also show evidence of them?
There's something that we're working on that will be utilizing blockchain. We will be leveraging blockchain to build a ledger-based credibility, right? So somebody who attends, we issue certificate of successful completion of mini boot camps. That's one thing. Another thing is the certification part. It's quite complex, right? So you go through a minimum of 2 hours testing your not only technical aspects, but also soft skills. And once you pass, then you will be issued a Start Canada certificate. You will be either a Start Canada certified solution developer or Start Canada certified business administrator, or based on your field. That's one thing. Another thing is also we quite keen on teaching people to get exposure of their professional profile on the job market, not only in Canada, but actually internationally. Regardless if you want to work somewhere else outside of Canada, we encourage people to build their professional profiles in US, in Europe, in any job market where the skills are relevant, simply because nowadays you don't have to move to work somewhere else. You can stay in Canada and work for a company in, say, in UK, like some of my students do. So that's basically it.
This is very interesting. We talked about the skills, but let's talk about signals. Employers make fast decisions. How do you make sure someone's skills are visible in those first 10 seconds?
There are a couple of things. One is you need to make it visible on your professional profile, whatever platform you're using, it should all be there. People, what I learned over the many years, that people are quite modest. They tend to put a lot less than they actually do. Our job is to encourage and motivate them to include everything, even things that they may not consider themselves being expert in. That will all be, discussed during the interview. But if it's not there, nobody will know, right? Another thing is what we teach in our mini boot camps. One of the things that quite often, in many, many cases, being completely overlooked is that one question that we call, tell me a little bit about yourself. So you probably know that any interview starts, 99% of interviews starts with that question. And believe it or not, that's where 80% of their hiring decision is made. So they will either help you through the rest of the interview trying to help them to hire you, or they will just start wrapping it up completely. So, and we see that some absolutely incredible personalities and experts just ruin their interview at this very first 40 seconds, right? So we talk a lot about it, how to gain sympathy of interviewer and how to show that you do have that background. And we limit that, I call it a story. We limit it to any time between 40 seconds and 1 minute. You would not believe how much you can actually say within 1 minute. And we practice that. And we shape it, like make sure that, they get a very impressive story, they well prepare it, and it sounds not memorized, not trained. So what they need to do within this 40 seconds is, number one, they need to show that they're likable personality, important, extremely important. Believe it or not, they hire people they like, not people that know better, right? You have likable personality, should be done very quick. Then you should show that you are a very grateful person, right? So you appreciate these amazing people that you worked with, this learning experience, this incredible managers that actually shaped you as a professional in the past. And then you also incredibly grateful for being part of those amazing projects that you were part of, like where state-of-the-art technology was utilized and where you became who you are now. And that within literally seconds, you can tell them, abilities, what you're capable of and what you've done in the past. And then after that minute, the interview usually goes into specifics of each project and problem solving and things like that. But we quite excited about the job that we do on that particular part. How do you show your value within this first 60 seconds?
Boris, I absolutely love it. Your passion is amazing. Gloria and I have a passion to get students hired and get people hired out there. And I know that you individually have got lots of people hired. And this new platform, this new direction for you is going to hopefully achieve more people getting hired in the right positions at the right time and make sure that expertise gets lined. Hey, if someone's listening feels, I know I have the skills, but I'm not getting noticed, what's the first step they should take this week?
You can tell. I'm eager to say, hey, call me. We'll work together. We'll make it happen, right? So I think what you need to do first thing first, and everybody's talking about it, AI. Just grab your favorite AI and start assessing your level of confidence and your communication skills, because that is where everything starts. Everybody who's getting for job interviews, what do we all do in universities? We dig into books. We think that we still need more knowledge. What you need to do is you need to relax and you need to look at a different aspect. You need to look at your confidence and communication skills, because no matter how much you know, if you don't have solid, strong, confident level of confidence and communication skills, you are not going to be able to get your knowledge and your expertise across. Dig into AI, look at your confidence level, your communication skills. Maybe you don't even need any help. So what you need is you need to make sure you have 3-4 interviews every single week. And if you're interested, of course, startnew.ca. This is our website. You can reach out to us through the website, have a look, and I'll personally be more than happy to sit down and talk and see what we can do, how we can be useful.
Love it, Boris. I was going to ask that question next, but you've done it, my friend.
The website is Start New, isn't starting something new. When you come to the new country, you're starting new. If you're getting a new job, you're starting new. Changing careers, you're starting new, right? So the website is startnew.ca.
That was another episode of Innovation Fuel. Big ideas don't grow by themselves.
Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Share, and let's fuel the next one together.
Innovation Fuel is produced by JPod Creations. Find out more about the show at theinnovationfuel.ca.